Hi, this is Eli Kranzberg from Logic Pro Expert, and in this video I want to share with you a unique kind of approach I took to getting a really what I think is interesting bass sound. And I'm going to play you this mix that I was working on recently, and I'll isolate the bass and we'll look at what's going on.
You are my one play. You are my mad strike, set me ablaze.
So it's kind of a driven, crunchy bass sound, and I think it's kind of interesting. I've got a lot of stuff going on here, and I'm going to start by just bypassing all the processing that I've got going on, and let's just listen to it as is. So this is a virtual instrument. It's Virtual Bassist Royal from UJAM, and it's got some settings. I got the sound the way I like it, but I wanted to affect it more and get more of a unique sound from it. So I've set up a send to bus 6, and I have 2 parallel buses set up here for parallel processing, and these are all being summed together at this bus, which is a bass bus. So let's look at what I'm doing. I'll start by soloing just this first track. I'll bring this in. So I'm using this EQ, a low cut, to filter everything below that, and then I'm running it into bass amp. So I'm obviously driving the higher end of the sound and mixing that in to give it some cut. And here I started with a preset and I turned off the compressor. I left everything else pretty much as is. And here's the next parallel bus. Let me put it on. I'll mute that one. Now this is interesting. I'm using the single EQ here as well, and I'm using the high cut, so we're working just on the low end here. Just bypass this. So that's the part of the bass signal I'm working with. Here again, a preset, but with no compression. That's a little too much crunch. I like it off. And then after that, I'm using the tube EQ. And that's really filling it out nicely. Boosting and attenuating at around 60 for that Pultec effect. Bit of a high boost here. And here, same thing, I'm boosting and dipping to create an effect. Here's without this. So this Pultec style EQ really adds some weight to it. 3 of them together, and I'll dial this up. So it's filling out the low end. And then finally here I have Logic's compressor. And it's set very aggressively. Now we normally wouldn't use this on a bass, especially with a quick attack, but I've got it dialed in just a little bit in parallel. It's way too aggressive. I've got the soft distortion, which I think is the hardest. It's the nastiest. So just a bit of this. And in context.
The demons I need to face. Show me you can be more than just my enemy. We can live our fantasies. I want to believe.
So that's a kind of interesting approach that I took to processing the bass here. I hope you got some ideas out of this. This is Eli Kranzberg for Logic Pro Expert.